Hi Disney people, so this is going to be my Disney college program story. So in this video, I'm going to tell you my story, everything that happened to me, the process that I went through, how everything was, and then I'll throw in some tips on top of it from like the beyond of the program. The alumni perspective, if you will. Also, before I get into it, if anyone has any questions or wants to talk about the DCP, please leave a comment or message me. I would love to help you out. So gather round, children, and I'll tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a 21-year-old college junior who was obsessed with Disney. I applied for the Walt Disney World Fall program in February of 2014. So I waited for like weeks and weeks for applications to come out. I was like checking every day. I was very obsessed about it. I watched many YouTube videos about the program. I like made spreadsheets about questions and things that might happen, and I was just trying to be very prepared, and it was a very stressful time, although very exciting. And then finally in February, applications opened and I jumped on that first day, applied, did it. My sort of general advice for the whole application process is just be the happiest version of yourself, because they want to see that you're Disney happy, and then they want to see that you are right for the program, and you're going to be the best for the program being yourself. And that's also how they're going to put you in the right job for you. I applied for 6 roles, and when you apply, you get to put them into top, middle, and low interest categories. My top category had Bippity Boppity Boutique and Character Attendant. My mid category had Concierge and Hotel Front Desk. And my bottom category had a Restaurant Hostess and a Recreation Hostess. My super top choice role was Bippity Boppity Boutique. I wanted that more than anything in the world. And my lowest bottom choice was Recreation, and I sort of threw that in there because it was mildly interesting. Some of the role names have changed since 2014, so sorry about it. There's sort of a rumor that goes around that you should apply for as many jobs as you want because then you have more of a chance of getting into the program. My advice from being in the program is only apply for jobs that you have an interest in. You're gonna make your own magic and every job is great, but you need to know that your job is gonna be great. So be super honest in picking what category you put jobs in and the jobs that you are going to apply for. After I applied, I got my web-based interview. After I applied for my roles, I got my web-based interview later that day. I was super nervous. There's this weird stigma that the web-based interview is very scary. Let me tell you, it's not. Basically, the questions are just like moral questions to like find out if you're a nice person. So I took my web-based interview, easy peasy, and that was that. Then I scheduled my phone interview. I scheduled it for a Friday because I had no classes, nothing going on, that's all I had to think about. And I also scheduled it for the afternoon because I am not a morning person. It's really scary to interact with me in the mornings. It's like a weird monster has appeared and you just need to wait it out for an hour and then Amanda comes around. I would definitely do some prep work. I tried to overly prepare for my phone interview, which is not bad. I scoured YouTube videos for questions they may ask me. I looked at blogs. I tried to write down any questions I thought would happen. And ultimately, and then the day came, and I was very nervous and scared, but also excited, which is how you should be. Be excited and smiley through your interview and everything's gonna be fine. So they basically asked me questions about my specific job choices. There's sort of like 2 categories of questions. The first being like, why should you have this job? Why do you want this job? And then the second category was like specific questions about situations you might encounter while you're doing that job. And then you had to tell them how you might handle it. I totally screwed up this part of the interview. She asked me a question about Character Attendant that was like, what would you say if a person asked you why Mickey is in this park and this park at the same time? And I was completely unprepared and I literally sat there for like a good 30-40 seconds, which felt like days, and I just was like, what do I say? I don't know what I'm doing. And I just smiled and waited for an answer to come, and then I said it, and I don't even remember what I said, but I did not get Character Attendant. And that's okay because one of my roommates was a Character Attendant and it turned out that that was not going to be a good job for me. So it worked out okay. Just so you guys know, if you feel like you did terrible in your phone interview, does not mean you're not gonna get into the program. I thought I did just terribly and horribly, and I got in. So just smile if your interviewer is tired or unhappy for some reason, yet still nice, which, you know, could happen. Then just take over the interview yourself, be your happy, wonderful, amazing self, and they will love you and put you in the best job for you. So after my phone interview, I just sort of waited around stressed for like 2 weeks. I was basically just a high-stress mess for 2 weeks of my life. What are you gonna do? I was very excited. And then I got accepted, and I actually got accepted on the first day of acceptances, so that was super duper exciting. I got accepted for recreation, which was my lowest choice. I was not super excited about it at first because I really wanted Bippity Boppity Boutique. And I was like, okay, recreation though? I mean, I guess I put it on my list, but it was my last choice. Do I even want to go? Let me tell you, when I started second guessing going, that was one of the dumbest things that I did this whole process. Don't let scary things deter you from the program, because ultimately this is one of the best things I ever did in my entire life, So then after I got over myself, I accepted my offer. So before I went, I did 2 things. I signed up for a class, which was an environmental science Disney class, where they went behind the scenes and told you about how Disney was environmentally friendly. That was right up my alley. I majored in environmental science. And then I started looking for roommates, and how I found my roommates was on the Facebook group for the fall 2014 Disney College World. I found them on the Facebook group for the fall 2014 Walt Disney World program. I started talking to a few different girls, but I ended up meeting Bethy, who was my first roommate. And Bethy had already been talking to 2 other girls, and then I ended up finding 2 other girls, and so we all joined together and we're roommates. I really loved that I met my roommates beforehand. It made it a lot less scary to go there because I felt like I already knew people. So then I packed up my bags and I flew to Florida. So on move-in day, I met all my roommates. It was really fun and happy. And then I found out my role, which was recreation at the Contemporary Resort. And then me and all my roommates moved into our apartment in Patterson. Patterson was a really good choice for me. I like to go home and recharge in like a quiet space. And I would say Patterson is sort of the more quiet, calm apartment building. Vista Way is kind of the most high energy sort of college dormy experience, and the others are sort of in the middle of that. While I was there, I made 2 of my best friends who are still my best friends today, Phoebe and Jamie. They were 2 of my roommates. So in the first couple days being there, me and my roommates decided to go to Universal, and we got Universal season passes, and we explored Harry Potter World and got butterbeer, and it was really fun. After that, I started work at the Contemporary. My main job was to rent out boats on the dock at the lake. And then my secondary part of that position was being a host in the arcades. I was one of the last people to work in the arcades. They have since moved over to technology, and people don't work in the arcades anymore. It's all just machines. So even though I was kind of nervous about it at first, I ended up loving my job. I made some really good friends there. I only worked with like 15 to 20 people, and that helped us get really close. I also, throughout my program, kind of got outsourced to some of the other resorts that needed help in their arcades. So I also worked at the All-Star Resorts, and then I worked at Pop Century and Art of Animation. So I'm also gonna say here, be aware that you're going here for a job. Your managers are required to give you 40 hours of work a week, which is a full week of work. Another reason I saw people term and leave was because they weren't prepared for the workload. I think a lot of people think that this program is sort of like you're going to Disney to have fun and then you work sometimes, and it's kind of the other way around. You work all the time and you go to Disney sometimes on your time off. So just be aware of that and you'll be fine. So at the beginning of my program, I had my class and there was no homework involved. It was just like a seminar type class, and I really liked it. I think everyone should take one class. If you're not getting credit for the program, I think you should take a class with no homework because it's just not worth the extra work. But getting to learn about the inner workings of Disney is really cool. So pick a class that interests you and go do it. And go learn about Disney. So besides work, I sort of made a goal for myself that anytime I was available, I was going to try to go to a park. And I'm so happy I made that goal because I saw a lot of people who would just sit at home after work and not do very much, and I don't think that they got as much out of the program. So I'd always go and find someone who was available, and then we'd go to a park after work or on a day off. I wasn't really like a solo park goer. One of my roommates was though, and she loved going there by herself, especially to take photographs. I also think it's important though to take time for yourself when you need to. I saw people term and leave the program because they sort of got emotionally overwhelmed. It's a little bit of like a culture shock in a way. You're sort of in this new environment, you're living with a lot of new people who have different views, you're working a lot, it's stressful, and then you also want to have a really good time and you want to take advantage of the stuff that's going on there. So have a lot of fun, but also make sure to take care of yourself. There were a couple of things that I loved about being there in fall. The first thing was Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. It still to this day is one of my favorite things to do at Disney ever. I went 4 times while I was there. I was a little obsessed. Hey, I love dressing up and getting candy. What can I say? And then I also loved the Food and Wine Festival at Epcot. They have so much food, awesome drinks. It's a good time. Let me tell you, a good time. You all should go try it out. Another special thing about fall is you get the Christmas and New Year's Eve fireworks. The most special fireworks I've ever seen in my entire life were the Epcot New Year's Eve fireworks. If you're gonna go do that, get there like an hour early and be prepared to just like sit there and keep a spot for yourself. It's so worth it though. These are the most amazing fireworks in the entire world. Trust me. Trust me. So then after all that fun stuff, my program came to an end. A few of my roommates decided to extend their program and I had to decide if I wanted to extend too. I did really want to extend, but I also sort of stepped back and evaluated my situation, which I'm really happy that I did. I took a look at my job and I looked at my coordinators and managers and I realized that I didn't really want their jobs. So this wasn't really a career path for me. I also had a life goal of getting a degree, and so I wanted to get back to work on that and finish it off. I also knew that if I wanted to come back to Disney later, I could, and I would rather be at Disney working full-time than be there working during the college program. So in the end, my time as a college program kid was kind of over, but that didn't mean that my adventures with Disney were over. I was so sad to leave. I didn't even pack till the very last minute because in my head I was like, if I don't pack, I will never leave. Which didn't help me out in the end, but I was in denial. The last night that I was there, me and Phoebe and Jamie, who are still my best friends today, we all went to Magic Kingdom and watched the fireworks, and we sobbed crying because we were so sad to be leaving each other. But it turned out okay because they're still my best friends today, and that's so happy and wonderful. And then in January of 2015, I left Disney and went back to school. And that was the end of my Disney college program adventure. I still love Disney and am totally obsessed with it to this day. I look back on the experience as one of the most amazing times of my life. It was such a wonderful, happy adventure, and I just have the best memories. And I also got 2 of my best friends out of it, so they're still my best friends today. So go make your best friends, people. So that's it. That's my Disney college program story. If you guys have any questions about the DCP or Disney in general, please comment, message me. I would love to help you out. If you have any suggestions for Disney videos, DCP videos, leave them down below. I heard that a few days ago, the applications for fall 2019 went live, so anyone applying, good luck. You're gonna do amazing. And that's it for this video. Everyone have wonderful, happy Disney adventures, and I will see you next time. Bye.